Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust, Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 367. Common mistakes trustees make. Definitely want to do this episode today because we always have trustees that go through every year and we get different feedbacks from various different trustees, and we always have to come back to the basics, stick to the basics. Something that the mentors trained us to do. We always want to at least pass it along and talk to the trustees that listen to the vault on a regular basis, and understand the importance of the vault, even coming out in the public and talking about trustee training. So feel free to like and subscribe if you're late to the episode or if you're new to the episodes and you want to actually be a part of the pop-up episodes and participate in the chat. Feel free to just hit the notification button twice. We'll go forward from there. So this is the vault, episode 367. It's pretty amazing to get up to 300 episodes and 367 episodes and talk about the common mistakes trustees make. This is one of those episodes that we definitely want to talk about because I've had trustees come through for years now, and they continuously, you see people, human behavior actually, make the same mistakes over and over and over. And partially because everybody comes to the vault and they say, oh, well, I had a public school education, trust Christian in the vault. I didn't get a private education. As you say, we didn't get the private education. Um, and that's fine and dandy, and that sounds good to the unsuspecting eye. But when you come into what's considered to be the private sector, it doesn't matter whether that's the vault or not. You're coming into a sector where a proper financial education is required, leadership is required, innovation is required, using your intuition is required. We would like to say common sense, but it's not common sense because everybody doesn't have the same common experiences. So we can't say common sense, but having some basic sense of having integrity is really important when you come into the private sector. So many people come over to the private sector and think that they could just do what they want to do, not thinking that there's no system over here. Oh, I'm gonna do like they do in the public and show us in the public how everybody's just getting over it, not doing this and not doing that, and people just think that they can just get over it in the public. But when it comes to the private sector, when it comes to trusteeship, there is a level of accountability that has to be administered at all times. So we're just going to go over some of the common mistakes that we've run into at the vault with trustees, things that we've seen ourselves, heard ourselves, and then as well go into some of the things that we've heard from others, trustee trainers and things of that nature. And one of them to start out with is common mistakes are people in trust not dealing with people in trust. And this is one of those things that you would think that, after we go over it in the trustee training program, even in the beginning, you think people would get it. You think they would understand this basic concept that people in trust deal with people in trust. Why? First of all, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking to endeavor into we're talking about first generation trustees. Generally, if you can get to the second gen trustees have an example previous before them, which was their parents or senior trustees. Third gen, if you've even made it to the third gen, you should be pretty sufficient. We've seen that over and over. Uh, Common mistakes they make is sometimes they just get caught in their ways. Third gen sometimes lacks what we talk about, lack the innovation, lack the intuitiveness to say, you, yeah, we've been partnered up with this company for two generations now, and we need to be open to different asset classes. People come to the vote and they say, oh, you don't like crypto, you don't like crypto. It's like, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we go to crypto conferences still to this day. So you can't sit here and say that we are against the so-called technology that's going to revolutionize the world when we're the ones at the conferences. So it's not that we're against the crypto technology. We're just against that hype mentality, the get rich quick mentality. It's just sad to see people think that, oh, you're gonna get rich off of some damn post stamp, some NFT, like, oh, you're gonna get rich off a stamp, off of some digital art. Are you serious? Do y'all know how much a bottle of scotch goes for? Those are assets that will be able to stand the test of time. Scotch, whiskey, cigars. But for some odd reason, hey, you gotta have the digital art. So we're not gonna go against that and have that conversation and dilute the conversation for that purpose. But senior trustees sometimes can overlook those NFT assets or those assets in general, because they're not aware of the asset class, not studying the asset class, and not researching the asset class, to continue to hold the family through generations of wealth, asset preservation, acquisition, and growth. So one of the things that we see is the people in trust, generally first gen, second gen, traditionally don't deal with people in trust. They may be first generation, looking to take their family out of the slums, take their family out of a situation where they owned everything, to put them in a position where they trust Christian and they own nothing, control everything. And in turn, that involves you having to get out of your comfort zone, get out of your current environment, and get into a new environment. And we've seen countless trustees run into this roadblock, which is, I don't know where to go. I don't know who to associate with. Well, we always tell them, people in trust deal with people in trust. Well, I don't really know who's in trust. You're right. You won't know who's in trust because people in trust, they understand that trust is a secret. So how are you going to be able to get into these environments? So we had to give them the layman's information, which is, long story short, you definitely have to get into a high net worth investor environment. Well, no, that means that the accredited investor environment. Oh no, that means Trust Christian Revolt, got to have over $250,000 a year coming in professionally. That means that I have to, outside of I have to have over $1 million in net worth outside of my home. Because everybody thinks their home's an asset. Why do you think if you're an accredited investor, you have to have over $1 million outside of your home? There's other rules. You all can look into it. So, people in trust deal with people in trust. A lot of people say, oh man, I got to get into these environments. Where are these environments? Are you investing in the conferences that we've held at the vault? The symposiums that we've held at the vault, where trustees come together, they work together, they connect. But so many people say, oh, well, just because I'm in the environment, doesn't that mean I made it? No. But people in trust deal with people in trust because they understand that you're not going to be a liability to them. See, people in trust understand that trustees in trust understand that they don't own it. So they're not going to do anything to make themselves liable. They're not going to put themselves in a compromising position to the actual trust document that's giving them their authority as the trustee. That's what they're not going to do. So you get a lot of trustees that are mystified by the getting into trusteeship and knowing, okay, we're going to be in trust. We got to get around other trustees. See, the thing about it is a lot of trustees would say, oh, trust Christian in a vault. They don't really allow trustees to talk. The reason why is because a lot of times first generation trustees don't have enough knowledge base to execute with other families right away. So, almost acting like a doctor, being a senior, you can diagnose who's going to be a mess up and who's going to be an asset, who's going to be a liability and who's going to be an asset. And you may not know who's going to be an asset, who's going to be a liability, because first generation trustees traditionally have to make themselves an asset before they can go out and work with other assets. Common mistake. Most trustees in the first gen don't go out, get into the environments. Oh man, I got to go tour. Everybody wants to be in real estate as a trustee. Oh, I want to be in real estate. But are you with your local real estate investor association? You're in real estate, but you're not with the real estate association that you're around. You think you won't find high net worth investors in those environments? You think you won't find accredited investors in those environments if they're supposedly doing well in real estate, which is an asset? We talk to people about that. Do you go into those environments? Well, people in trust deal with people in trust. People in the same profession deal with people in the same profession. So if you're a trustee, you got to seek out trustee environments. But see, the thing about it is the vault, over at the vault, we understand and we know what we brought to the table. We brought private trust conversation to the table. Whereas most people in private trust don't want to talk to you because they know most people in the public are a liability. So they're not going to talk to you about it. So you got to seek those environments how they happen to run into them. People in trust deal with people in trust. Oh man, I got to go out and find those environments now. I might have to travel out of state. Yep. I might have to take off time from my job if I have a job. Most people are still associating with family members that are not in trust. People come to us all the time and say, "Oh man, you know, what do you say? My family's they not in trust with me. They not trying to learn it. I feel like I'm learning it all by myself." Everybody, so many people say that. First gens always say that. Oh man, I'm in trusteeship. I'm looking to be in trusteeship, but none of my family is looking to help me. None of my family is taking the time to study with me and become a asset, a trustee over the family estate. Right. But are you still associating with them? Well, they're my family, and now you know why. This is a common mistake on why trustees don't move forward in their trustee education, because you're associating with people that have a conflict of interest. It's always unfortunate to see people that don't want to see you succeed. You think everybody in Warren Buffett's family is a trustee? You think everybody in Bill Gates' family is a trustee? They're not. And they don't associate with each other. Warren Buffett is a multi-billionaire. He's not going to associate with people that don't have the same mindset as him. See, everybody says, oh, I got to get around like-minded people. I got to get around like-minded people. People in trust deal with people in trust. Not only do they get around like-minded people, they only deal with people in trust. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying now, Trust Christian. In the vault, you saying that we only got to associate with those people. That's pretty much it. That's a hard thing to do for most people. Why? Because their emotions are involved. Their feelings are involved. They don't want to look like they're leaving anybody behind. They don't want to look like the money changed them. It did change you. It made you more protective of your mindset, so you didn't go backward. See, when you get into private trusteeship, when you talk about 1% information, you got to do what 1%ers do. How you going to be successful in the 1% information if you're not doing what the 1%ers are doing? How you going to be successful in the 1% information if you're not doing what the 1%ers are doing? They're congregating together. They don't care about the people that aren't in the 1%. That's the difference. People know, Trust Christian Reward, I can't believe that it's going to be like that for me. It seems like it's a lonely road over here. Ladies and gentlemen, what y'all want to know? Common mistakes? Y'all want to know common mistakes? We got people in trust that their own families in their own house together aren't working together. This is real out here, ladies and gentlemen. Husband and wives not even on the same page, but they married. That's a sensitive subject for people. Oh man, Trust Christian Reward, he told us that it was going to be tough. Because I'm over here learning the information for my family so we could trust Christian, own and control everything, so we can't get our house taken from us, so everything that we working for, we could pass along to our kids properly. Because if we pass away right now, we don't even got a will in place. That's why we was going to trustee training. You see the dilemma? You see the common mistake where the husband may not be on the phone with the wife in trustee training, or where the wife might not be on the phone with the husband in trustee training. They having sidebar conversations, and they're not learning the same information. They're not with the family trust consultant at the same time. These are common mistakes that we see people run into. Oh man, Trust Christian Revolt, I don't know why my wife not gonna pick up the trustee training, man. She thinks I'm crazy. My husband, he thinks I'm losing money for the family over here. Oh really? What is he doing? Watching Sunday's Best, huh? Making sure he knows the statistical stats for gentlemen running up and down the court with shorts on and basketball shoes, huh? That's what they know, right? Common mistake is people are on different pages than their families. So what do? We came in, we started working with families. We got families to get on the same page. We had trustee training on Sundays. We had families say, you know what? No trustee training on Sundays. Put a system in place where your family meets on Sundays, has an hour meeting on Sundays every week. 52 weeks in a year. Your family can't even have 52 meetings in a year, but you can go to work every day, huh? 5 days a week. But you think you're gonna be in the 1% dealing with the 1% information and do it successfully? Common mistakes. People in trust don't deal with people in trust. They don't have the same conversations. When you in trust, you have the same conversation. We talking about own and control everything. We holding each other accountable. When somebody says I own something, you say, oh, you sure about that? When they say, oh, I'm gonna do this, you say, oh, you sure about that? You say, oh, that's my company. You say, you sure about that? You say, that's my car. You say, that's sure about that? But then when you go to the family cookout, you got the cousins and the sisters and the brothers, and they talking about their cars, and they talking about their houses, and you sitting there quiet now. Why? Because you trust Christian to own and control everything. You don't want to own the car. You don't want to own the house. And you sitting there and you looking at your family and you see that it's a conflict of interest in your thought process. Because people in trust deal with people in trust. So you're wondering, where's Trust Christian Vault going to come and save you from? When they gonna have the private family retreats where you can go and meet them for the private family reunions and make sure that you got the private family trustee knowledge going into your family, to your children. First of all, we've had trustee training workshops, and we've had people bring the children in the room that were 5 years old, that were 7 years old, that were 10 years old. We did workshops last year with 16-year-old children in the room. We had the 18-year-olds in the room. Oh man, y'all need us to keep going? People brought their families into the trustee training environment. Because what? People in trust deal with people in trust. You got to have that type of environment. You got to have it. If it's a family-oriented environment, oh, it's family. I'm trying to do this for my family. But your family's not right there with you. We've had trustees for years bring their family into trustee training environments. Because that's what it's all about. It's about family. But that's what they like to say, the ones that make the mistakes. Oh man, it's for my family, but my wife, she don't want to come to the meetings. She wants to go get her nails done on Sundays because that's the only time she could do it because I got her working a job still. Right. That's cool. Oh man, I'm gonna go out to the club. Yeah. Trustee training, I didn't listen to all the lessons. We had trustees coming to a trustee training, said they listened to every lesson before they got into training. How many people are going to do that? People did a thorough listening before they said, I'm going to deal with this individual. That's why we do the trustee. That's why we do the online podcast. So people can hear before they get going so they can't make excuses for what they're getting themselves into. But so many people say, oh man, I didn't think this is a little overwhelming. You know what I mean, trustees? We had go through the program last year, say, oh man, that was a little overwhelming. Why is it overwhelming? Because you're not focused. See, when you love what you do, it's not labor. It's a labor of love. You loved to protect your family. You loved to help your family estate grow. But people don't really love it, do they? No. They just want it. It sounds good to be in the 1%. If I could reach for the stars and land on the moon, hey, Trust Christian Vault, can it happen that way? No. Why? Because trustee training is a lifestyle. That's the next point. People think, oh man, I'm going to just get in trustee training. I'm going to get in trust and then everything's going to be fine. I can sit on my hands. I don't need to go to continuing education programs. I don't need to continue with the mentorship program. What's $150? Why am I going to pay for a consultation, Trust Christian Vault, once a week or once a month for a checkup to check my pulse, to see if I'm on the right place, see if I'm moving on the right path for my business management for the family estate? Because I don't really know anybody doing it. That's what happens. It's a lifestyle. Man, I'm trying to figure out how to get a car, man. I'm trying to figure out how to go get a house with some debt. You think people in trust are getting houses in debt? You think people in trust are over leveraging themselves? How they gonna over leverage themselves when they don't have anything in their name anymore? See, what happened was people started getting loans in their name. Oh man, I gotta get a loan in my name. And that's why they got student forgiveness loan programs now. That's why we went through the 2008 debacle, where people were signing loans that they couldn't really afford. But see, when you're in trust, you gotta have the cold hard cash, baby. You got to have the hard, tangible assets. That's what you got to have. But oh, Church Christian Revolt, what you mean? I gotta get down. I gotta stay down. I can't just come up. I can't make it. I can't keep up with the Joneses. I can't go to the family meetings with my family that ain't in trust anymore. Why they all leveraged out? All of them are living paycheck to paycheck, but they got a Lexus. They got a Rolls. They got some big type of Mercedes Benz truck. Church Christian Revolt. They got a house on the hill that they could barely afford. That if one of them lose their job tomorrow, they're not gonna have it no more. If they miss 2 or 3 payments on the house, it makes it seem like they even never made a payment before. Why you see people in trust? We sitting here debt free. You see us sitting in trusting. We don't own nothing, and we don't owe nobody nothing. Trust Christian Revolt, that sounds good, but how am I gonna do it when I got all this debt out on my name? How am I going to take the assets that I got? I thought a house was an asset. Now I'm wrong, but I don't want to downsize, so I can. It's called restructuring. It's not losing nothing. You're not losing nothing because you're adapting to the lifestyle the proper way. Because guess what? When you get old and you did it the regular way, the public way, you're going to be like the rest of those public people. Downsizing when you're 55. Downsizing when you're 65. Oh man, I can't afford this anymore. I don't need to have this much space because my kids aren't living with me anymore. Yeah, right. And if you owned it, you wouldn't have gave it up because it's an asset. But oh no, Trust Christian Revolt, I'm going to stay over leveraged. I don't want to restructure. I don't want to do that. That sounds too much like right. I can't do that because everyone around me is over leveraged. Everyone around me is living paycheck to paycheck. Everyone around me is getting PPP. Everyone around me is getting unemployment, right? Right. That's why you're not. That's the common mistakes they make. They ain't in the 1%. They ain't living 1% lifestyle. They ain't living trustee lifestyle because they trying to live the 99% lifestyle. And that's called a conflict of interest. When you're hanging around people that got the conflict of interest, it's a conflict of interest, and you're either going to feel some type of way because it's messing with your unconscious mind. It's making you feel like what you're doing is not worth it because you see that these people around you are living a false life. Oh man, Trust Christian in the Vault. Man, they going on vacations. Trust Christian in the Vault. Yeah, we ain't gone on. We didn't build up enough money in our private family foundation to go on a private family retreat yet. To the islands. To some other country. We didn't build up enough money in the private family foundation yet. So we can't go on site visits yet. And when you do it once and you do it correctly, you can do it forever. Because when you're in trusteeship, you focus on doing things in perpetuity. That means forever. That means your family will not have. They will have because you put a system in place. But hey, it's a lifestyle. I ain't trying to live that lifestyle, Trust Christian Revolt. Man, I'm trying to have a car that, it looks good to the friends and family. I'm trying to have a house that makes me look good to the friends and the family. The lifestyle. That's all it is. It's just a lifestyle. Well, what does that lifestyle look like? It looks like trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. That's what it looks like. It's you making those hard decisions that the mentor said. We were sitting here thinking about earlier about how the mentors say you gotta do exactly what we say. Or you're not gonna have what we have. We sitting over here looking at our mentors. Our mentors' wives don't work jobs for other men and women. Our mentors' wives didn't work jobs. They work for the family estate. This is family. This ain't no job. That's what the country was founded on. Family. But oh no, Trust Christian Revolt. You know what I mean? Man, it ain't that easy, man. We ain't trying to take a pay cut. We not trying. Think about it. Most people that got children, especially multiple children, one person traditionally is working just to put their children through daycare. Their whole salary is going through their children just to put them in daycare. Man, I ain't trying to stay at home with my kids and teach my kids no foreign language when we got the internet. We got the internet. We just gonna put them in front of the iPad, laptop, whatever it is. Lifestyle. We were sitting here talking to one of the senior trustees, trading partner Cornell. You know, the Hash children. We met in the same environment. That's a lifestyle. We were in an environment together. Say, we were sitting here looking at the senior mentor. Senior mentor got his son flipping the slides on the PowerPoint presentation for us. Kid wasn't even out of high school yet. People sitting here talking about something. Oh man, how you get your kids involved? How you get your kids involved? You gotta bring your kids around because it's a lifestyle. Oh man, how you teach your kid hard work? You gotta get them involved. Trustee training. They say, oh man, you know I'm a what? How do I get them? How do I get them involved in the trading? How I get them involved in this? Looks like one of the senior mentors. What'd he say? He said, I need you to flip the slides at the workshop. He had them flipping the slides. He had them dressed up the proper way so he can know how to deal with adult individuals when it comes to business. You think he don't have an advantage and a leg up? He's in the environment before high school. He had other children too. He told us about the other children. He said the other children, they married people that weren't in trust. So I'm not going to deal with them. I'm not going to leave them anything. Why? Because they're dealing with people that are conflict of interest. You think the other partner that's outside of the trust, that doesn't understand trusteeship, isn't going to try to figure out what's going on in the family estate, but they not a trustee? He knew that. So he worked with what he had. It's a lifestyle. We appreciate the senior mentor going over that with us, sharing that with us. It was like they were teaching us before, they were training us before we got to that stage. You got to have people that's coming into the environment with you, your children in particular. Oh man, trust Christian involved. I be having a hard time trying to get my kids involved. Senior mentors, they bringing their kids around. That's the difference. You gotta show them the pluses. Gotta show them the minuses. What's the pluses? I got my family involved. That's a plus. My wife is involved. That's a plus. So you know what the example is. Common mistake is people don't want to learn, be trained, and duplicate the same exact thing. I'm not trying to force this on my kids. I'm not trying to force this on my significant other. Well, common mistakes. You don't need to force it on them. But when you're a leader, you lead by example. So now we know who's the leader in the household. Because when you're the leader, you lead by example. That's the difference. Leaders lead by example. The mentor showed us you got to invest in your education. We sat here for years, man. Well, where do we put the money? Where do we invest? Where do we invest? And mentor said, invest in your education. Invest in your education. You say, wonder, well, what's the education, man? Investing in the education is the relationships. You got to invest in the relationships. What relationships do I need to invest in, Trust Christian Vault? The ones that you don't have right now. The private ones. The accredited investor environments. If you're not in there, first gen, second gen. We actually meet investors in the high net worth investor environment. They not even in trust. Why you think they around other high net worth investor environments though? Because birds of a feather flock together. Because people in trust deal with people in trust. That's why. They got money, so they associating with money. But oh no, I'm gonna go eat fast food. And that's why you're not gonna be successful in trustee training. Because when you're successful, you got to eat at the 5-star restaurants so you can be around 5-star caliber people. People that have money, people that are in trust for first and second generations, well, or really second and third generations, and they know how to stay away from poor people, how to stay away from the 99%, how to go out and play golf. Oh man, here we go. Common mistakes. I'm going to go play the sport that I think is going to get my child $1 million a year. Instead of teaching your kid how to just go out and make business deals no matter what age they are. To go out and play a sport that they can make business deals no matter what age they are. Remember, we talk about it's a lifestyle. The mentors told us a lifestyle. Oh man, I know that they do business deals on the golf course, but I'm not gonna go out and play golf. I'm not even gonna learn how to play golf, man. I'm not trying to do that. I'm gonna go play basketball on the weekends with my homies. Y'all could pick up tennis. High net worth investor, trustee training environment. We've been out there. We've been out there with senior trustees, second generation trustees at the tennis court. Oh man, Trust Christian, it ain't basketball, it ain't football, it ain't baseball. What you try to say about baseball, football, basketball? What we're saying to you is the business deals are getting done in the press boxes that cost over $100,000. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about business, not personal. We're not talking about the nosebleed seats. We're not talking about the lower level seats. We're talking about the box seats. Those come from trustees being in the right environment, the lifestyle. You take the time to invest in your private education. You invest in skills. Common mistakes that trustees don't make, common mistakes that trustees make. They don't invest in their schools. They don't invest in their skills. What's the skill Trust Christian in the vault? They don't invest in leadership. Well, what's a leadership course look like Trust Christian in the vault? Good question. That's a great question. Go out, get a skill, become an expert, and do it. That's a leader. Oh man, Trust Christian involved. I thought I had to be like some influencer on the internet sharing the BS of telling you could be a millionaire overnight through Instagram. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Everybody's an Instagram millionaire nowadays. Yeah, right. I'm gonna sell you an internet course. That's the leadership? Yeah, right. I'm gonna show you motivational stuff. That's not leadership. Leadership is acquiring a skill and doing it. Because now people can see you as an example. Sort of like a plumber, sort of like the trading, hairstylist, skills you can learn. Electrician, skills you can learn. Oh man, Trust Christian involved. I didn't know it was gonna be that hard. What's another skill? Communication skills. Oh man, Trust Christian involved. I ain't trying to go to Toastmasters, Trust Christian involved. I'm not trying to stand up there and give no presentations in front of no Caucasian people. I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to improve my communication skills. I'm not trying to improve my communication skills so I can learn how to sell my business, so I can learn how to come up with a unique selling proposition, so I can learn how to speak to people correctly in front of a business about my business. You ask people what they do, they telling you they got a job. The people with the best communication skills are some of the best leaders. Why? Because they're communicators. Well, everybody doesn't communicate the same, Trust Christian in the vault. That's true. I don't know how to do that, Trust Christian in the vault. I'm not trying to get out of my comfort zone. That's why we share with y'all to go to Toastmasters. What's wrong with Toastmasters? That's a program that actually helps you, trains you in communication on how to communicate better. Oh man, Trust Christian involved, man. I gotta communicate better. I gotta get my communication skills up. What you mean? I can't binge watch on Netflix no more. I can't watch Netflix on Sunday no more. I can't watch Netflix on a Wednesday or a Thursday. I gotta go to a Toastmaster class so I can learn how to come up with a better unique selling proposition for my current business that I'm in, that I'm already doing okay in. You afraid to tell people about your business because you didn't come up with a unique selling proposition, because you didn't go and learn how to improve your communication skills. Why? Maybe you got a degree, maybe you didn't. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Communication skills. Oh, communications. It is a skill. Oh, Trust Christian Revolt, well, did you go do that? Yes. We've been in communication since we've been 18 years old, public speaking. You don't get this way overnight. Trust Christian involved, man. I'm inside my shell. I'm an introvert. All right, well, here you go, audience. You're still listening. Trust Christian took the Myers-Briggs 50-50. 50% introvert, 50% extrovert. Love being by ourselves, studying hard, learning the information, but at the same time, love the socialness of just the beautifulness of life. The beautifulness of being around smarter people than yourself and humbling yourself and being able to communicate with them intelligently about things that you want to know, things that you want to learn. Throwing yourself in an environment that you don't know something, but you're willing to learn it, or that you're willing to humble yourself and just take in some new information. Oh, trust Christian about that's what you're talking about, getting out your comfort zone and learning a communication skill. That's communication skills, getting out your comfort zone. Learning how to formulate your questions right. We had so many trustees come through the program for years now. Oh man, I didn't ask that question properly. Right. But what happens when the mentor misinterprets our questions? What you think we did? You think we just let them get disgruntled? You think we just let them keep saying the stuff that they saying when we know it's not accurate? Accurate? No. See, when you're a man, you have a pair. And you say, hey mentor, I just want to let you know you misunderstood what I said, or you misheard what I said. Let me restate it in a different way, which it makes sense to you. See, that's communication skills 101. And you can't be afraid to say that to your mentor in the moment. Everybody says, oh, don't cut people off, Trust Christian involved. Don't cut people off. Well, if your mentor heard the question incorrectly, you got to cut them off because they're answering the wrong question now. So how are they going to answer the question properly if you're not presenting the question properly? Well, I didn't know I was trained in the conventional wisdom that I'm not supposed to cut people off. I was trained in the conventional wisdom that you're not supposed to, tell somebody that they didn't hear you correctly. All this politically correct BS. But at the same time, you didn't get your question answered properly either. We'll repeat it again. There were times where our mentor misheard a question that we stated, misinterpreted what we stated. So we had to cut them off and we had to let them know, hey, mentor, just want to let you know, that's not what I meant to say. Let me tell you what I meant to say. Let me ask it in a different way because it's a communication skill. You thought you were born with that because you're on social media now? Oh, I'm on social media. I could do the little, I can abbreviate my words and my mentor is going to understand. BRB, OMG. Right. Our mentors are older. Our mentors actually have proper grammar educations. When you type in questions through email, they want you to do that. They want you to type it properly. When you ask a question, they want you to state it properly. We were talking to a mentor actually this past week. He said, well, your question is actually a question and a statement. So you think about that. How many times do you ask a question, but you're really not asking the question? You're making a statement for confirmation. That's not a question. We'll say it again. How many times have you thought you were asking a question, but you were stating a statement for confirmation? Those are two different things. So when you're in those situations as a trustee, you got to say, hey, mentor, hey, I know you heard me even say this as a statement, but hold on a second. Give me a second. Why you can't ask your mentor for a second? Hey, mentor, give me a second. I got to ask the question where I get the answer that's going to help me out, not help you out. That's what happened. We've been in those situations before. Mentor didn't really hear the question properly. The question was stated as a statement. And in turn, mentor didn't answer it properly. A lot of times people say, oh man, I didn't ask my question the right way. You didn't. But did you re-ask the question again in another way in which you get a different type of response? So at least you got two answers to say, okay, well, the first one didn't really exactly answer it. The second one came close. Okay, now I got a better idea of what is it that I need to know. But how many people just say, oh man, you didn't answer my question the way that I wanted it to be answered? That's the trick. Let's say it again. You didn't answer the question the way I wanted it to be answered. So are you asking questions you already know the answer to? Because if you did, it's what the mentor said. You're asking a statement for confirmation to see if you're right in a statement. When in all actuality, you just got to state it as a question and be allowed to hear the answer. Communication skills. Oh man, trust Christian vote. That was a different. That was definitely one. I know I need to improve my communication skills, and we already gave you one outlet to do it. Toastmasters. Oh man, trust Christian in the vault. Common mistakes. I'm not used to being held accountable in trusteeship. I'm used to dodging bullets. I'm used to not showing up for meetings on time. Ladies and gentlemen, at the vault, we got meeting time. We got time frames for a meeting. You don't show up to the calls on time, it's over. Oh man, trust Christian vault. What you mean? Things happen. And that's why we also take that into consideration too. Trust Christian involved. What you mean? I can show up for my job 15 minutes late because the day before that I came in 15 minutes early. So that means I came in on the third day on time, right? No, that's not how trusteeship works. You got to keep the minutes the day you do the things. We remember going through this last year through trustee training, and we were doing accountability calls because there were so many trustees that said, thank you for just holding me accountable to my goals every single week and doing my goals every single week. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to schedule a consultation, then I don't do the consultation because I know I didn't do the thing. So they sucking their thumb. Oh man, trust Christian involved. I know. I know I didn't do what I said I was going to do. Oh really? Common mistakes trustees make. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. Right. But it's not about how you fail in life. It's about how you handle the failures in life. Everybody talks about handling success. Oh man, how you handle success. Nah, it's about how you handle that failure, baby. See, that's what you go through in the trustee training program when we talk about the failures as a trustee. Because when you make mistakes as a trustee, which are going to happen, you're going to make mistakes as a trustee. How many times you think you can repeat them, though? It's not about if you make the failure, it's about how you handle the failure. How do you handle the failure as a trustee, ladies and gentlemen? Common mistakes trustees make, they don't want to come back and admit the fault. They just want to stay in the misery. And misery likes company. And the vault's not a miserable company. We're not miserable. It's trusteeship. You got to be accountable. You got to have rules. You got to have standards. Your family has to have values. We heard from this one culture our whole life. Oh man, they ain't going to show up on time. Yeah, and that's why they're failures. Because they don't want to get out of the habitual cycle of never showing up on time. That's a fact. You got to hold yourself accountable. You got to surround yourself around people that are going to hold yourself accountable too. And why you think they got AA meetings? That's why we got trustee training, because people in trust deal with people in trust. They got AA meetings so when you fall off the bandwagon, you can get a hug. Kumbaya. Everything's going to be okay. Well, that's trustee training. Hey man, Trust Christian Vote, I went to the family reunion this past week, and they all talking about, putting the family vacation on the credit card. And we sitting over here saying, hey, look, our focus is to bring the wife home this year. So we ain't got to, literally, she's going to work to pay for 2 children to go to daycare. That's where her salary is going. We said we're not doing that no more. So we can't make the family vacation and put it on a credit card. Because Trust Christian Vote trained us, we don't need credit cards. We need assets and cash flow. We need cash flow coming off of those assets. We got hard, tangible assets that are producing cash flow because we're leasing out hard assets. Those other people, they taking out debt and loans. They got to work for that vacation when they come back. We're never going to have to work for a vacation, Trust Christian in the Vault. Because the assets that we acquired now, they're paying for those vacations. They're paying for those assets. They're paying for those things. We had a mentor tell us, hey, make sure you get an asset for every bill you got. Oh, wow. What you mean? I got bills, but I got to get an asset for that? Right. That doesn't mean you get debt for it. I got to get an asset for that produces cash flow. Not just get an asset, There's something that produces cash flow. Yeah. But when you're associating with people that don't understand that thought process, it's hard to implement that strategy because people don't want to believe that they are the five closest people that they associate with on a regular basis. Man, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. We're in 2022. The five people that you talk to on a regular basis. It could be at your job. First of all, if they at your job, you already know they're making the same amount of money as you. We talking about the people outside of your job. Your friends, your family, the ones you watching the sports with. The ones you going to uh, the nail spa with. They making about the same amount of money as you, huh? Give or take 10,000, no more than 20. Plus or minus. Trust Christian involved. What you saying? I gotta separate myself from people that's not in trust. We already told you at the beginning of the episode. People in trust deal with people in trust. Common mistakes trustees make is they don't associate with people in trust. Because the five closest people they associate with ain't in trust. They don't know about trust. Then when they try to tell them about the trust, they didn't want to do it. That's how you know that's a clear indication. It's time to move on. Oh, trust Christian involved. I can't do that. Because then that means the money changed me. You're right. Trust Christian involved. I can't do that. Because they actually look like they doing better than me right now. Because I had to invest in my private education. Who knows how long I got to invest in my private education. Because I got to get skills that pays the bills. So I can get assets that pay cash flow for all the bills. I had a different thought process that I was looking to espouse to. So I couldn't really associate with these people anymore. You're right. But most people don't want to take on that lifestyle. That's why they're not in the 1%. That's why they don't have private family retreats. That's why they go on vacations. And it's all expenses paid for themselves. They can't write off a vacation in the public sector. Oh, trust Christian in the void. I'm trying to go on vacation. How long it's gonna be before me and my family go on a site visit or a private family retreat? Are you trying to do it 1 year or are you trying to do it in perpetuity? Don't say it like that, trust Christian in the void. I'm already living high on the hog. I'm already out leveraged. If I lose my job tomorrow, guess what? I'm gonna lose the house too. They don't want to lose. They don't want to give up that fearful thought. And that's why we see so many trustees fail. Oh, trust Christian Revolt. What you saying? Everybody fails. Trust Christian Revolt. We not saying everybody fail. We just talking about the common mistakes trustees make. Some of them they fail until they make the changes. Some of them get fed up. Some of them get tired of being sick and tired. Common mistakes trustees make. We already done told the trustees. You gotta get a lawyer you can't afford. Oh man, trust Christian, don't say that one to me. I gotta associate with new people, a lawyer I can't afford? What you mean get a lawyer I can't afford? First of all, how you gonna be in the 1% dealing with the 1% information in trusteeship and you not dealing with the lawyers that you can't afford right now, which are the 1% lawyers? What about the 1% accountants? Oh man, I can't deal with those 1% accountants, man, because they gonna charge me. You don't even know that. Because you so used to dealing with the half-baked lawyers and half-baked accountants. Trying to charge you because they just trying to make a few bucks off of you. That's why they got y'all in S Corps. People don't even know why they in S Corps, but they in S Corps. Man, the lawyer and accountant just told me I need to get an S Corp because if I go into a C Corp, I'm going to get double taxed. Really? Now let's look at that. If it goes through, the entities are passed through, who's getting taxed? You! Oh, you right. They didn't tax the corp. They taxed you, but they told you getting protected in the corp. How? You own the corp. What are you talking about? If somebody sues you, the owner, can't they? That means they got rights to the asset, the corporation, correct? Oh yeah, but the lawyer, the accountant, they ain't really talk to me about it like that. They ain't really tell me that. They just told me I ain't want to get double taxed on the front end or the back end. Okay. That's why you gotta get a lawyer you can't afford. That's why you gotta get an accountant you can't afford. We're gonna go through. We got a bunch of people listening in live, tuning in replay. We got Delaware tuning in live. We know it's freezing up there. Y'all need to stay warm up there. Make sure you got your blankets and your flannels on. We got Oakland, California. It's probably not snowing out there, but it's still probably cool up in Northern California. Appreciate Oakland, California for tuning in live, listening to replay. We got Dallas tuning in live, listening to replay. We got Tulsa, Oklahoma tuning in live, listening to replay. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Common mistakes trustees make. Oh man, I ain't trying to go out and find me a lawyer or accountant. That's a private trust accountant, a private trust lawyer. Why? Cause they expensive. They ain't really trying to talk to me. Cause when I go in there, I don't really even know what I'm talking about. I just kind of found some guy over the internet named Trust Christian in the vault, and things were looking good. I went through the training program. I got slightly trained up because, I didn't really either learn everything I need to learn, but he told us to go surround ourselves with even better professionals, trust the lawyers and the accountants, and I still didn't do it. You got to do it. You got to surround yourself with the senior trustees. You got to surround yourself with the people that are in 1%. You got to surround yourself with those people. We told y'all it's a lifestyle. We told y'all people in trust deal with people in trust. Oh man, the lawyer or the accountant that I'm talking to, I'm not going to ask them if they in trust. What you scared for? I'm not going to ask them if they in trust because I'm going to just deal with him because, he say he been in business for 20 years. He say he been doing estate planning for 20 years. He, she, it doesn't matter. He say he been in trustee. He been doing things for 20, 30 years. But when I talk to him about an X, Y, and Z type of entity, oh man, they don't really know about that. That means get up, walk out. Oh man, George Christian, a lawyer, George Christian involved. How many lawyers or accountants I'm gonna have to go through? Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the 1%. Why are you sweating the ones that can't do it? Here's the biggest one. You go into the wrong bank. Well, Trust Christian involved, we appreciate you for, doing what you do because you special. You did something great, coming out in the vault. We would have never known about this if it wasn't for you in the vault. So, we heard about it, but we're not too sure. But, we went to the bank, and the bank was like, what you doing? And the private wealth banks, they said you got to have a certain amount of money to even come in here. Because the other banks, they're not used to dealing with private entities or just in general. We told y'all go to the private wealth bank. Told trustees go to the private wealth bank. You think trustees went to the private wealth bank? Nah, man, I can't go in there. They told me I ain't have enough money. First of all, are you serious? Do you think that you got to do... Who in their right mind goes to any bank and puts $2 million in the account right off the rip? Who in their right mind puts $100,000 in the bank right off the rip? Oh, man, but the bank told me I got to have $1 million in the account. Or they told me, yeah, but how much you think you put in the first day you open up the account? Well, I didn't ask that question. I didn't think about that. Let me scratch my head. I didn't think about that. I didn't know that I could just say, well, what's the initial deposit? I didn't do my research on the initial deposit. I didn't know I could build it up. But you got your money in the 401k still, right? Sitting in some government-sponsored retirement program. But you're not going to put it over in the private wealth bank. You're not going to liquidate certain assets and put them over in the private wealth bank so you can have the assets to go into the private wealth bank. I didn't think about it like that, Trust Christian Vote. I gotta go over to the private wealth bank, so I don't even know where they at. They told me I gotta have $250,000 in assets. You know what they told me? They actually told me I gotta have $1 million in net worth. Then when you come through Trustee Training, we tell y'all net worth just is way more than one thing. Net worth ain't just liquid cash, baby. Hard assets, baby. Paper assets, baby. Who's appraising those assets, baby? Who's appraising those assets? The bank ain't appraising those assets. They just taking whatever you got on the balance sheet. But they told me I had to have $1 million in net worth on assets. They won't even accept a client if they ain't got $1 million in assets. So you think a major athlete or somebody that's making $250,000 a year has to have $1 million in assets? How they gonna have $1 million net worth? They just crossed a certain threshold in income. But they with the private wealth bank. You right, I didn't think about that, Trust Christian Vault. I didn't ask them the initial deposit that I got to go into the bank with. I didn't even think about it like that. I got to find that out. When you going to do it? When you going to go into the private wealth banks and deal with them? The ones that's going to be able to better service you as a trustee instead of dealing with some, what they call them, commercial banks. You're not dealing with IBs. You're not dealing with investment banks. You're dealing with what? You're dealing with these commercial banks, these companies that with these, you go in. Here we go. You go in. The person you're talking to, well, the person that opens up trust accounts, they're not here today. I'll figure it out though. Sit down. Have a seat. I'll help you out. Oh man, we ain't used to seeing trust like this. That's when you call get up and get out. Man, trust Christian involved. I mean, I don't want all these different banks, man. I gotta. Exactly. But when we had trustees come through the vault and they sit in the bank and they call the vault and they say, hey, look, this is where I'm at. It's not looking too good. Can I leave? Yep. Okay, I'm leaving. They're not sitting there wasting their time with people that are going to set up a personal account. Oh man, they set up the personal account. They didn't do the business account. They set up the personal account. Right. Because you didn't go to the proper bank. You didn't go to the private wealth bank. You went to the bank that they'll open up the account and you see what they did for you. But do you know how to operate correctly as a trustee? I'm still figuring that out, Trust Christian and Vault. I don't know how much my private education gonna cost. Y'all don't want to know how much your private education gonna cost. Because if you found out that it costs tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're gonna quit. Why? Because people want student forgiveness loans. That's why. They went out, they got student forgiveness loans when the average American supposedly that went to college had over $20,000 in student loans. A rinky-dink $20,000. Isn't your job supposed to pay you more than $20,000 a year for the degree anyways that you went and got? But all of a sudden, they need a goddamn student forgiveness loan. And that's why you're not going to make it as a trustee. That's the common mistakes of a trustee, is that they want a free lunch. A daggone student education loan for free. Trustee training, private trustee training ain't never going to be free. It's going to be for the ones that's willing to do whatever it takes financially for their family, so they never have to worry about any liabilities. We're going to go ahead and bust it down. And we ain't speaking on nobody's name ill, but we're going to have to tell y'all and set the record straight, okay? We appreciate Jacksonville for tuning in live, listening to replay. Appreciate Jacksonville for tuning in live, listening to replay. We're going to go ahead and set the record straight. If you think that you're going to get richer than James Brown in your life, and if y'all don't know who James Brown is, James Brown was a very successful singer, okay? First of all, he was a bad man. Say it loud, okay? James Brown. It took 10 years to settle his estate because he wasn't in the right position financially. That's a fact. That's a fact. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I don't know if I'll make more money than Aretha Franklin. You don't think you think you're going to make more money than Aretha Franklin in your private family estate, right? Right. This lady supposedly wrote down her will on a piece of toilet paper. The estate, it died initially in intestate and went into probate after the kids and the lawyers, we conjured up a will on toilet paper. Are you serious? You can't make this up, first of all. It's public information because she wasn't private. But you think, or if you think common mistakes trustees make is they don't know, you got to make sure you in the correct position when you pass. So there was this famous music artist recently passed away, Young Dolph. Oh, he left 100 properties to his children. 100 properties. Y'all can Google this. He left 100 properties to his children. But did he leave them in trust? Because if he didn't, y'all already know what's scary happened. And I promise you, he ain't got more money than James Brown. And it took 10 years to settle that estate. What about Aretha Franklin? It took some time to settle that estate. So if you think Young Dolph just passed, it sounds good to put out this information that he passed along 100 properties to his children. But if he didn't do it in the proper position, yeah, it was all for naught. We're not speaking ill on nobody's name. We're talking about the estate. We're talking about trusteeship. That's what we're talking about. The common mistakes trustees make. Oh man, Trust Christian Vault, I gotta really sit down with the family and we gotta come up about how to deal with these assets and getting them in a trust situation properly. You're right. When you gonna do it? Or you gonna watch the games this weekend? You gonna watch what they call the championship game? You gotta watch championship game. Trust Christian Vault. We were doing trustee training on the Super Bowl Sundays. Somebody, oh, yeah, man, I don't know if I could make trustee training. It's going into New Year's. Oh, it's going into Christmas Eve. Oh, it's going into Super Bowl Sunday. Who cares? Is your family more important than those people? But we already know it's not for most people. Common mistakes trustees make is their priorities are messed up. They still got the job's family more important than their own family. And that's why their family is floating, ready to be flushed down the drain of life. Their names won't be remembered like a Rockefeller. Their names won't be remembered like a Carnegie. Their names won't be remembered like a Jenkins. Their names won't be remembered like a Kennedy. They won't be remembered like a Richardson. They won't be remembered they won't be remembered. They won't be remembered like a Gates or a Bezos. Why? Cause what's the guy that owns the Dallas Cowboys? That's how you know he's not important. We don't even know his name. But people know his name. People know more about the Dallas Cowboys owner's last name than they know about their own last name. Common mistakes trustees make. It's a different world out there, ladies and gentlemen. When you become a trustee and you're out in the world and you're looking to say, I'm going to deal with this trustee stuff properly. Oh man, I'm doing my best to do this trustee stuff properly so I don't make mistakes. First of all, you're going to make mistakes in life. But are you avoiding those mistakes? Because you're risk averse? The mistakes, sure, they come out of ignorance, but you're going to make mistakes in life. I don't even understand how people think they're not going to make mistakes. If you're going to make mistakes, you might as well. Mentor says, here was the mentor told us early in life. Said, trust Christian, own not to control everything. He said, you learn from experience in life, but the experience doesn't have to be your own. You can learn from others' experience. People say, "Oh man, trust Christian Vault. I need you to tell us all the bad stuff the trustees do, so I don't do it." Mentor said, "You got to learn from the mistakes of others." They were talking about good mistakes, things that they did and they fixed, not the ones where they failed and they didn't make it. People want to know what a failure did. No, we want to know what a successful person did wrong, and then they did it right. That's why we go over cases in the trustee training program. Oh man, trust Christian Vault, the cases. I don't really even know how I read a case because my reading and comprehension level isn't at a college level because I'm reading Supreme Court decisions. I had to read the case more than one time. Like you some daggone legal scholar or something. What's wrong with reading the case multiple times? How many times do you listen to your favorite song? So what's more important, your favorite song or some information that's going to help you protect your family estate through precedent hasn't been overturned longer than you've been alive? Did you hoard the information for the cases? Did you hoard that information? Oh man, I got to find out all I can about this case. Matter of fact, we told the trustees, you got to find a lawyer, find somebody to get you the case. You know how many trustees come back and say, oh man, trust Christian Vault, I didn't even find the cases. Say, go get a lawyer to find the cases. Bam, they go find lawyers and got the cases now. Oh, wow. So you got to associate with the people in trust. Well, hey, the lawyer might not be in trust, but guess what? He can help solidify your position. She can solidify that position by doing what? by giving you information that you need. So now you're building a team. Common mistakes trustees think, oh man, I gotta do this in isolation. My husband may not be helping me. My wife might not be helping me. They might not be doing it with me. Shoot, I gotta do this all by myself. No, you don't. You gotta surround yourself with a team. How y'all think we had access to an enrolled agent? Oh man, Trust Christian Involvement. I don't know, man. I ain't never even heard of an enrolled agent before. I ain't really know those people existed. I still ain't found me an enrolled agent where I live at. Right. You got to invest in your education. You got to invest in relationships. You got to leave that area and go find those people like we did. Oh man, Trust Christian, well, that don't sound too easy, man. That sounds a little costly, man. And that's why we told y'all in this episode already that if you knew how much your private education was really going to cost, you wouldn't do it. Because it costs too much for poor people. It costs too much for people that want student forgiveness loans. How's the education worth it if you get a student forgiveness loan? Are you serious? In the so-called richest country in the world, which they ain't the richest country, but at least one of the richest countries. They one of the richest countries. I mean, so their first world, we can say their first world. The first world countries need a student forgiveness loan program. How amazing are those people? They need a student forgiveness loan. Nah, you want to know who it is? It's called the Democratic Party catering to poor people. That's what they're doing. So you can go work for their family. So you can go work for Bernie. So you can work for Warren. So you can work for AOC. Because they got maids. You don't think they got maids? They got private security. They got chefs. They got people that take care. They got assistants. So you can work for them, remember? They got accountants. So you can work for them, remember? They're going to let you get a free accounting degree so you can work for their families. Is it wrong? Who knows? Common mistakes trustees make. You gotta surround yourself with the right people. Lawyers you can't afford, accountants you can't afford. Common mistakes the trustees make. They think it's about the money and it's not about the relationships. This is one of the biggest failures we've ever seen in our life. It's one of the funniest things. It's been a debate in my heart for a long time now. Because I sat here and looked at people for years burn a goddamn relationship up for some damn money. It's a sad thing to see. For some money. For some nickels and some goddamn dimes and some pennies. They want to burn relationships, but for some money. And we done told trustees the whole time it ain't about the money. It's about the relationship. Because you're in the private sector. It ain't that many of us over here, especially the ones that got integrity. And you think the ones that got integrity ain't working with the other ones that got integrity. So you think when you come over here with your shady butt, you think you're not going to get burnt? You think you little weasel tail, you're not going to get sniffed out, you little rat? You think you could do weasel stuff and not get sniffed out? You think you're going to come into the private sector and it ain't going to be heard about? They know about Trust Christian in the Vault. They know about Trustee Training over here. You think we don't know that they sending agents over here? Y'all think we don't know that? You think we don't know about how COINTELPRO works in trust? It's about the relationships. Oh man, Trust Christian in the Vault. What you saying? We have mentors for years now. Tell us they know former FBI agents. Tell us they know former IRS agents. Tell us they know Department of Justice agents. Department of Homeland Security agents. Do you? Oh man, I'm not trying to associate with those type of people, man. Right. I don't want to have friends on the inside. Right. That's the difference. Senior trustees told us, hey, when you get a chance to meet one of these people, put them in your back pocket. You make it a point to keep that relationship. Don't burn those relationships. How y'all think we know the enrolled agents? Oh man, Trust Christian Vault, you know enrolled agents, man. You know what? What you the COINTELPRO? We gonna have the other gurus on the internet saying you an insider too? Oh, okay. Enrolled agents can defend you in court though, right? right? But they want to talk about who's on the inside and who's not. You got these what they call these guys? They call them jailhouse lawyers. That's what they call them. They want to talk to you about the law. We don't talk about the law. We go over it though. We got mentors that are lawyers. JDs. We got trustees that went through the program and become lawyers. We understand how important it is to have these people around us that understand constitutional law, that understand trust law, that understand tort law when these people do a wrong against the trust. But oh no, trust Christian involved, man. I don't know if I need that relationship with you because the way you be talking, man, you be sounding real passionate. You be going a little hard sometimes. I'm not used to that. I got a job and my boss, he talked to me real nice. And then, I still got a job, right? You're supposed to be focused on learning how to work for your family estate, not for somebody else's. In trusteeship, we ain't talking to everybody. Trust ain't for everybody. Trusteeship ain't for everybody. When we talk about accountability, when we talk about managing a family estate, it ain't for everybody. That's why you got to be okay with separating from the old friends and family. Oh man, I can't do that, Trust Christian Vault, because that means that the money changed me, the entity changed me. It did. You got into a new vehicle. The old thinking is gonna get you more of what you already had. Trust Christian Vault, it can't be that. It can't be that hard, man. I got a lot to overcome. I'm not used to being a self starter. I'm not used to doing all this. I'm not used to, keeping a schedule, being on time. I'm not used to keeping minutes for my life every day. Really? Huh? Cause you say, I don't. How often should I keep the minutes? We done told the trustees how many times. You can't have too many minutes, but you can have too little. They still come back. Well, do you think I should? How many minutes do you think I should have? And how many? What about the minutes, Trust Christian? What about the minutes? We done already talked about the minutes. Why you don't keep a minute every day? What's wrong with keeping a minute? Think about if you would have had a senior trustee from the family estate in 1920, 1918, 1920, when the swine flu was going on. You would have saw how they were moving the money. You would have saw how they were moving as a family. But you don't. And you still wondering if you should keep a minute. You have family members live through that time. That's why you here. So why won't you keep the minutes? Man, Trust Christian about, I don't know. How long the minutes need to be, man? Come on, give me every answer I ever need, cause I don't know. I mean, how long does the minute need to be? Look, we tell you, at least write a sentence to a paragraph every day. That's 52 minutes. That's 365 minutes a year. That's a manual. That's a corporate trustee manual for your family. But oh no, we had trustees recently, hey, we gotta go get some information that's plagiarized over the internet. We gonna get this private trustee manual off the internet. And, we still ain't even gonna do our own minutes. We just think this is gonna be our holy grail by looking and reading this manual. It's okay. We already know what happened. And it's okay. It's on them. Common mistakes trustees make, the ones that fail, they breach the contract. They breach a non-disclosure agreement because they'll not keep their mouth shut. Oh man, Trust Christian, well, I know I keep my mouth shut. Yeah, I gotta talk to somebody about it because I'm in the public. I got a public education. My brain, I'm spider monkey syndrome. I'm a little squirrely still. I'm trying to get over that. I'm trying to get my speech correct. Common mistakes trustees make. They breached their own contract. Hold on. You didn't sign a non-disclosure agreement with your family estate. Because if you did, you learn how to speak properly and keep your mouth shut. I can't do that, Trust Christian Vault. First of all, I didn't even know that I got to go through a training program to learn how to speak properly. I got to go through a training program to learn how to speak properly so I can communicate with lawyers and accountants because this is first gen information for me and my family. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. What they say? When you know better, you do better. But how many know better and they still ain't doing better? They think you're supposed to get in trust and work a job. Ain't that hilarious? Common mistakes trustees make. They try to carry employee mentality into a growth mentality environment, into an investor, to a risk manager, into a asset manager environment. You're carrying an employee mentality into an asset manager mentality environment. That's why they didn't make it. Oh man, what you mean? Common mistakes trustees make. They're trying to carry employee mentality into an entrepreneur, investor, asset management mentality. And we already know how that goes. They're trying to take a public mentality and be in the private. Why I can't be on these public platforms and taking pictures and doing all this stuff, other stuff? What are you talking about? You think people that are truly private are showing off their cars on the internet? They truly entrust. We talking about trusteeship here, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all really think people in trusteeship are showing off their houses on the internet? That's how you know you ain't in trust. I mean, every time you can look at people, the ones that's showing off, that's they gotta keep up their story because their life is the story that they put on the internet. That makes sense. Their life is the story they're putting on the internet. Or really, is it? Did they tell you they were in trust? Nah, they were just putting a story on the internet. Because they ain't in trusteeship fully. Because they not living it. Because if they was living in trusteeship, they would understand. Wealth is quiet. And you don't want people to think that you own something. Because when you own something, they're going to try to sue you. You think people ain't trying to sue Donald Trump all the time? They know Donald Trump own nothing, control everything. But they still suing him. So what makes you think they ain't going to sue you? Oh, Trust Christian Revolt. I'm a different type of person. I'm not a billionaire yet, so I'm going to do all this stuff. And then when I get a billion, that's when I'm going to stop posting on the internet. Right. I'm going to be a multimillionaire and I'm going to stop posting when I'm a multimillionaire on the internet. Yeah, right. What a shame. Because they making it, we understand trustees that are doing it right. Trustees be like, man, they making it look like they doing well. They are making it look like they doing well. But the mentors, see, that's the best part about having great mentorship for us on our part. We had great mentors said, you need to stay debt free. Don't worry about them people. Them people, all them celebrities that y'all see, all these sports athletes y'all see, them people are broke after they done what they doing. You like, damn, ain't no way that could be true. And then you hear it all the time how these people be broke. Oh man, this person, they looking scraggly, and this person is, and that person that. You like, damn, ain't no way that person's broke. How that person broke? That person supposedly made $20 million. What you think? So we came on here already. We done told you about a couple of states, James Brown, Aretha Franklin. We done told y'all about how, what's his name? Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson publicly came out and said he blew through $200 million in his life. He done blew through almost $250 million. It's called $250 million. Are you serious? So if somebody can blow through $250 million, it show you he might not be in trust. And you gonna be any different? But you gonna keep playing this public game until you get to that, right? Until you make the $250 million. That's when you gonna get off the internet and stop playing these games. Nah. Mike had to restructure, baby. He had to restructure. He went through $250 million. But it's not gonna be you though, right? If you got hit with the $250 million, you ain't gonna blow through it too? How do you blow through $250 million? Oh, best believe the vault, Just Christian, we could blow through $250 million, just like Mike did. We could blow through $250 million. That's a fact. We could blow through $250 million. We could blow through $1 billion. It's not hard to run through the money when you got dreams, when you got goals. Mike had dreams and goals. Mike's over here walking around with white tigers, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that's called dreams and goals. White tigers. You got Michael Jackson. He's got a daggone Ferris wheel on his property. That's called dreams and goals. You can blow through $250 million in your lifetime. Best believe it. Y'all seen MC Hammer? MC Hammer blew through the money. Common mistakes. Unfortunately, they weren't trustees though. Maybe they will be in trust before they die and do it properly. James Brown didn't. Prince didn't. Y'all think Prince did? Y'all think Prince? Y'all think these celebrities and all this stuff on the internet gonna make it? How they gonna make it? Look at the stories. When they pass, look at how the estate is dispersed and delegated. Hold on. Let's go to a great example of how it did work. Steve Jobs. One of the he may not have liked Bill Gates for a long time, but they were around each other. Go research how his wife was the manager of their estate. Somebody did it correctly. Well, go look at Zuckerberg, the Chang and Zuckerberg Foundation. If we got it wrong, please forgive us. It might be Chang or Chan Foundation, Zuckerberg Foundation. Y'all can go research that. Go look at Bill and Melinda Gates. They working together. See how she right there by his side, not working a job for another man or woman. Same thing with Warren Buffett. So we gotta give y'all good examples. People that they gonna do it right. Oh man, well what about Bezos? He got a divorce. Did he leave her with nothing or something? Oh man, she got billions of dollars. And then he trained her properly to give endowments to colleges so she doesn't have to work another day of her life because the endowments were kicking money back to her and now she's giving her money, making money, giving it away. She was trained properly. She had the right education. She didn't leave empty-handed. She left with money. And she knew what to do with it. She didn't blow through it like Hammer Time. She didn't blow through it like Tyson. There's a theme here. It's called Trustee Training. The Vault's been doing that. We've been putting people in contact with our mentors. Our mentors used to work for the SEC. And we got people coming into the Vault and ask us, oh man, well, should I deal with this person and deal with that person? Ladies and gentlemen, the SEC is the Security Exchange Commission. Y'all really think that these people, like, is that a light position? Those are the people that's managing the stock market. Well, I don't know if I could talk to them about anything financially, because, I don't even know. I know you don't know. We know you don't know. And that's why you're in the position you're in. Making common mistakes that trustees make, which is trying to be the smartest person in the room with an ego, instead of saying, you know what? I'm going to deal with people in trust. You think we don't know about that mentor? The properties they got in other jurisdictions? Oh man, everybody say, I'm trying to have property in foreign jurisdictions. But the person you talking to, the senior person you talking to, do they got property in different jurisdictions in trusteeship? Are they managing properties from foreign jurisdictions in trusteeship? Well, look, I got the book, I got the manual, I'm talking to somebody through the internet, and they ain't even telling me they got that. I asked them, they ain't even answering it. Right. What a joke. We know what we're doing over here at the Vault. We provide A-class trustee training. Always have been, always will be, because it's about relationships. Some people think it's about the information. Oh, it's about the information. I just need the information. I can Google the information on the internet. Yeah, right. Common mistakes trustees make. Oh man, I could just Google everything. Hey, have at it. And one thing you're not going to be able to do is get the private information over the internet. But hey, if you think you're going to just be able to Google it and get some book off the internet, have at it. Guess what? People over here in the private sector, we want you to do that so you can fail, so you're not competition and you don't make it. Because your grandchildren and your children are going to work for our companies. That's how we think. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening, replay. Feel free to type into the chat any questions you have about the topic today. Common mistakes trustees make. Feel free to type into the chat any questions. We got Carrollton, Ohio for tuning in live, listening, replay. Always appreciate Carrollton, Ohio for tuning in live, listening, replay. We'll stay on for a couple extra seconds here. See if anybody has any questions, comments, or challenges into the chat. Otherwise, stay warm if you're experiencing any type of inclement weather. And if not, it's definitely an opportunity to Come together with your family at the beginning of the year and set some goals. You know, one of the things we see is a common mistake the trustees make is they ain't got no daggone goals. You ain't got no dreams worth living for, let alone dying for. Oh man, I ain't got no goals for my family every week. Well, we already know why. The common mistakes trustees make is they don't got goals for their family every week. That's what. You think you're going to be successful and don't have family goals? Well, I'm not trying to make my kids go to college to become a lawyer. I'm not trying to make my kids go to school to become an accountant for the family estate. I'm not trying to make my family go to school, my children go to school and get a business management degree so they could be a business manager or the trust after I pass. Common mistakes trustees make. I'm not trying to force my kids to do that. I done seen mentors tell a kid, you ain't got no choice. Duh. You ain't got no choices. And if you don't like it, leave. And guess what? Their families, they on second and third gen now. Second and third gen. But you worried about making these bad decisions that your parents didn't make, which led you to go get a communications degree and now you need a student forgiveness loan. You got a marketing degree and now you need a student forgiveness loan. You got a psychology degree and now you need a student forgiveness loan. Hold on. You went through school, didn't even get the degree, and now you need a student forgiveness loan. What a joke. In a first world country. What a joke. What a joke. And now you see why the country's being run the way it is. Because the people that are informed and know what they're doing, they're getting the proper education. While the rest of the people are trying to get an education or half of an education and get it and then ask for a student forgiveness loan for something that ain't even worth it. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen, replay. Feel free to reach out, Christian at trustchristian.com. If you'd like to get consultations or trustee training, Christian at trustchristian.com. Otherwise, look forward to hearing from you all. Enjoy the rest of the day. Peace and joy.